Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 2nd of February 2020 and today is live number 37. And today I want to talk about why your manhood has and building it has nothing to do with her. You see, I've watched a very interesting video a few days ago, and there was a guy who was just walking through the city and asking girls about state of manhood today. And there were a few questions that he asked them, and that was interesting to not hearing the questions, but much more to listen what was the answers. And that was basically the whole video, more or less. He asked them first of all, what is the state of manhood today, and if we are over feminized, meaning that we are more that having more characteristics of which we normally put in the context of womanhood rather than manhood. And all of them said that that's true, that it's visible for them that we having more women-ish characteristics. Second question that he asked them is what kind of men they would choose if they would have this possibility to choose one of them. And that was very funny because right there from that moment you could see that it split, because half of them said more someone who will be more towards alpha male, and second group said, oh no, I would pick up someone much kinder, much more delicate. But one of them said in a kind of underlined or basically said what all of them were trying to say. She openly just said this by with smile on her face that if she would go for one night stand, she would pick a guy who is the most handsome guy around. But if she would have to pick one for the relationship, for a long-term relationship, definitely she would go for someone much more kinder, much milder. Why? Because she wanted him to take care of her, and she wanted to be sure that he'll do this. The next question that he asked them is what kind of characteristic and they want in men from this plethora of men, this characteristics of men, meaning this more alpha males. And interestingly enough, all of them said the same thing, that it's all about protection. That they feel that being a woman right now, it can be scary from time to time. So they all said that they need a man to be a man because they want to feel safe. And the fourth question that he asked them was, do men supposed to follow and try to gain more this men characteristics from this spectrum? And again, interestingly enough, even though I had this feeling that he wanted to push all of this towards it was like a question that suggested the answer. They said kind of something different, because they were not saying yes and no. They said you've got to understand that it's all about having both. You need to be in the middle because we need both of those, let's say, extremes. And that was very interesting to hear, because it says a lot about what is required from us or what we need to do. And as far as I know, at least when I try to talk and see what is the stance of guys now, most of us know that they want both. They want you to be able to be kind of versatile in all of this. But as far as I remember, and we all went through that, and I remember being there myself. But I talked with some of you guys, and you told me that you're struggling because it's not about knowing that you're supposed to be able to do both of this, but what you're struggling with is to figure out when you're supposed to play which role, because you don't want to do more than you're supposed to, just kind of cross the barrier. You want to go too far. And this is very interesting question, very interesting dilemma, because it all depends which side of spectrum you're kind of you are from default. Because some of us will be much more kinder, much more mild, and some of us will be strict alpha males. And it's all where how you've been raised, and what were your experiences as a child and then as a boy. But interestingly enough, when you look at this from the perspective that you try to fulfill what she needs, you just try to um, kind of react to what she needs right now, and you don't try to kind of grow and learn your skills based on that. You need to understand that it's gonna block you, because what she needs and what she requires from you will be your ceiling. And this is the mistake that I'm seeing in many guys who are trying to kind of like follow your girl in what she needs and try to play to the music that she's playing. You know what I'm saying? It complicates the whole thing, because you cannot feel like a man because you're trying to do what she wants, and then you try to play your man, there's the role of being a man much more tougher and taking the lead, but then you can't do it because you do what she says. It's all very confusing. That's why so many of us were, and so many of you probably are now are confused as well. So what's supposed to do? So the one thing that changed it all for me, and I've seen that so many guys were able to cross this problem and kind of lost, completely lose this problem, and is when they start becoming a man for themselves rather than for their girls. Because you see, then you don't have a ceiling. You don't try to do what she wants. You want to do this, obviously, but then you want to go much farther. You want to be able to be a guy who knows when to be much more straight to the point, much more aggressive, or this straightforward, doing what you're supposed to do without asking anyone for advice or help, just going forward. And when and how basically to learn as well how to be more emotional, how to be more vulnerable, because then you don't have a ceiling, and then you decide what do you want to learn next, what is the thing that you need to progress in. And that's fascinating, because then when you kind of release yourself from being this entangled with all of this, you can ask yourself, okay, what do I really struggle with? What is the problem that I see in myself that I supposed to work on? If you see that you're a much more mild kind of guy, you're this nice kind of guy, and then you'll need to work on your manhood, then just do something about it. If you see that you need to build your muscles and your physics somehow, just go for a gym, or do something with this. And if you need to learn how to be much more assertive, how to be much more communicative, or much more having control over your body, and be able to be fit, or learn how to fight. This is, again, I'll come back to that, and I'll suggest sign up to a very good martial arts school, because they'll teach you how to fight, they'll teach you how to be aggressive, they'll teach you how to cross the barriers that you never thought you're going to be able to cross. They'll push you a lot, but then they'll teach you how to control aggression. They'll teach you how to become chill where you're supposed to be. Because when you spending time with your family, with your girl, you don't want to be in this kill mode all the time, because it's not needed. It's needed when you need to do something like protect her. So then they'll teach you about brotherhood. They'll teach you about respect. They'll teach you a lot of stuff that not many people kind of connect to the martial arts school, because you think that it's just about fighting, about this building this kind of aggressive manhood. It's completely the opposite. The more you know how to fight, the more you know how to be chilled, how to not have to prove anything to anyone, because whatever happens, you've got it under control, because you know how to protect yourself, you know how to fight if you have to. So then you're just chilled. And if this school is or this group that you're going to join is having this brotherhood kind of vibe, and they care about this kind of behavior, you learn a lot about how to treat each other with respect, how to help each other. This is amazing. That's why so many people, or many guys and many people, because now it's much more ladies are joining the military. Then you'll understand what does it mean. And that's why so many of them coming back and having this mindset of, and they miss those times and these people, because then everything works like a charm, because everybody respecting himself, and this is like very high honor of this whole group to respect themselves. So do that. But if you need to kind of learn how to be much more mild guy, much more nicer guy, you've got to understand that I don't know how to learn because I was always the nice guy. I never had issues with this. But by observation, I see that many guys who are so-called alpha males, they're having issues not with being kind, but how to express it. And many times it comes down to not being able to cross this barrier of allowing other person to see you vulnerable, because you are. We all have something that we struggle with. We all have these feelings that we feel scared, or maybe we feel lonely, and it's all about being able to not being so stressed that you have to be the leader all the time, but just to allow yourself to come down and just say, listen, this is what I'm struggling with. Maybe maybe you'll be able to help me. Talk with me. Just help me figure out what's going on. So that's what you need to learn, how to kind of open yourself up, not being afraid that that someone will laugh at you just because you're not alpha male. You've been alpha male for a whole life, so just let it be. And if you need to practice, talk to your girl, talk to your sister, maybe talk to your mom, maybe take some women friends that'll allow you to learn how to open up and how not to be afraid of being close to someone. So this is what you want to do. But again, what I want you to take from this video is that it's all about doing it for yourself. Because then you'll build your abilities from on one side on the other, and then you'll be able to serve, and you won't have to guess. Because it's not going to be you trying to do something because she wanted, but then you'll be able to be so versatile and so fluent in going from one extreme to the other, whatever you need, that then you'll come and whatever she needs, she'll get. Not because you have to play this person, but because this is the person who you'll become. Again, think about it, figure out what you need to change, what you need to work on, do something about it, and see you tomorrow.